y'all. What's happening? It's Wednesday. So if it's Wednesday, that means we getting ready to dive in deep on some of these books that you may have read or that you may not have read. But I know I'm here early. He said, "What? You're on time." Nah. I was always taught to make an entrance. Not in a arrogant way, but just, you know what I'm saying? See who's in the room. You know? And nowhere is that more evident than here on Facebook. I'm kidding. I meant YouTube. I don't get them confused. I just like to interchange them because they kind of serve this. For me, they kind of serve the same purpose. So y'all go ahead and mosey on in at your leisure, and I will be sure to put together something you will treasure. Boy, I told y'all, man. I told y'all. Okay. A sword and an axe, and he'd make a pretty good lizard man. Remember Lizard Man from Soul Calibur? Yeah, give him a sword and a shield. Oh man, he'd be a whole problem. I might have to work on that. All in a day's work, kids. All in a day's work. Speaking of being in a day's work, to my Alaskan contingent, snow. It's coming. Anansi, you in the building. Hey, what's going on? You know nothing of Lizard Man from Soul Calibur? I think it was Soul Calibur 2 or 3. Here, hang on a second. It's too much information out here. There we go. Boom. Oh, yeah, a couple different versions. I'll give you the easiest version. There we go with that. Since you in here, you know what I mean? So I will go ahead and, because he was such a pain in the butt, man, when you would fight him. I mean, not that you couldn't handle him or nothing like that, but it would just, I don't know. It was a weird character to deal with, put it like that. Okay. And this is just one version because they have like different skins and they'll look, different with different skins. So like I said, one skin. Just I'm formatting it is what I'm doing. So and then I can get rid of that one. Everything Gucci. I'm gonna have to do me a system clean. This thing is moving kind of. Good grief. Charlie Brown. Anywho. Now it wants to be different. We're gonna get this, Nancy. We're gonna get this, bro. Oh, how about that? Okay, there we go. Boom. That is Lizard Man, Anansi. So, yeah, dude was a whole problem. If you let him be a whole problem, and most of the time you didn't have no say. So there, that is Lizard Man. You say you never played Soul Calibur. I mostly play NBA games on the Xbox. They had Soul Calibur on the Xbox back in the day, and Spawn was the hidden character in that Soul Calibur, and was voiced by Keith David. So you was missing out, my guy. Come on, yo. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's happening? Oh, did I miss something? Oh, okay, it's in blue. Okay, all right, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Okay, we got a quorum. You know what I mean? So that's all we need. Everybody else, y'all gonna get in where you fit in. Say you always had to strike it from a side step, stand in front, and he was, yeah, facts. Fact. That's what I liked about Soul Calibur was you could actually use your lateral movement to do some stuff to somebody. Oh yeah. When that was Soul Calibur 3, 2, or no, 4. Soul Calibur 4, I want to say, where you had Yoda and Darth Vader, and 2 was the one where you had Heihachi. And then that same year you got Yoda, I want to say on the Nintendo, the 64, I think it was 64. You had Link, and then that one, the Xbox had Spawn. So yeah. This is a comic book deep dive, and we're talking about video games. See, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. We finna start talking about damn comics. and stop this video. I started it. My bad. Anyways, 5 comics to review. 4 of them have videos because I want to share the one with you here, right here in the live, because it's a one shot, and it will feel special because the one shot got one shotted in this live. All right. Off top to all my Fat Tone fans. We're gonna kick it off with Space Ghost number 3. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Shouts out to my man David Pepos on writing chores, and Jonathan Lau on the art chores, but Francesco Mattina did the cover. Now I want you to look at that cover real close. Look inside of Space Ghost's helmet. You see the Phantom Cruiser and him flying on the inside. I like the detail of that. Got some slamming ass art. Somebody said it reminded them of Judge Dredd. And I'm like, I could see that. I could see, with the judge, because he always had the helmet hanging over him, and he always had that perpetual scowl. So yeah. Anyway, who the hell is trying to create a temporary folder? Got it. Anyway, yeah, I liked it. When I saw it, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give one. Here's the full story with Space Ghost number 3. When it kicks off, we're dealing with Tarko, and it's 10,000 years before. And Tarko and his Vikings are fighting the Time Master. Okay, see, give you a little bit more to dive into. If you have been following Space Ghost, this new volume, we know the new overreaching villain in this series is the Time Master. And as his name might imply, yeah, he's got something to do with time, because he's bringing people back. He's sending people forward. I mean, What's going on with this Time Master guy? But anyway, Tarko ended up having a run-in with the Time Masters 10,000 years ago. Somehow he ended up getting frozen, but Space Ghost was dealing with a bad guy named Pharaon, and he had a cryogenic cannon, much like you might see your man Captain Cold rocking, but a much smaller version. Okay, so boy, an ice theme villain, there really is a bad guy for everybody, huh? And he's just got a big frozen Viking in his hideout. Maybe it's like the Tyrannosaurus with Batman. I don't know. But he's got this big frozen Viking. And Space Ghost don't know what to do with a big ass frozen Viking. So he takes him to Dr. Contra, who happens to be Jan and Jace's grandfather. And for some strange reason, Jan and Jace's grandfather, if you saw me with a mask on, you still know it was me. I mean, okay, maybe they got hypnotic masks. I don't know, but you need more than a bandit mask to hide your features. A bandit mask don't hide anything. Did bandits ever use bandit masks? That's somebody in the chat. Did bandits ever use bandit masks? Because still me. It's still me. Anyway, as you might expect, when he gets him to Professor Contra, it cracks open, and Tarko is unleashed on the unsuspecting people in Space Ghost world. Looking most menacing at that. Tarko the Terrible. He wants a fight. He wants to kill the sorcerer, Dr. Contra, that brought him where he brought him. Or, as Tarko puts it, a sorcerer then. Very well. I've always enjoyed killing sorcerers. And he was going to straight hit my man with an axe. Little guy. He was going to hit that little guy, and he's a big Viking. And he was going to hit that little guy with that big ass axe. You know, and Space Ghost, of course, is there for the save. You know what I mean? But Tarko put hands on Space Ghost and Space Ghost gets laid down quite a bit in this book. You know what I'm saying? This Viking hit him and like knocked him through a wall. Knocked him through a wall. That's Space Ghost. Space Ghost is that projectile. That projectile is Space Ghost. Now, the question I'm starting to ask is, damn, Dave, are you trying to nerf Space Ghost? Or we need a more powerful Space Ghost. I mean, I guess Space Ghost in a way is kind of like Moon Knight, and his style of fighting is incumbent on taking punishment. I don't know how I feel about that kind of hero. I did just like, man, that's a butt weapon if you want to absorb damage, and you ain't even using your power bands to absorb the damage. You just getting socked up. So when they come back at him with the Phantom Cruiser, what kind of axe he got that he beat through the Phantom Cruiser with his axe and made that shit crash? What is that? Okay, well, and that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of action going on in this book, and a deeper message kind of comes in at the end, but we don't give a hoot about that. More action. So Tarko gets away. You know, he takes some powder, but he's got a shred of Dr. Contra's clothes, and he gonna track Professor Contra. And Contra's on the run. You know what I mean? He goes like, you freak out too. He's like, man, this big giant ass Viking is after me. I got to go hide somewhere. And that's kind of what Contra was trying to do. And then he went to the police department. And, you know, it's a case of, okay, you walk in the police department and say, officer, help me. It's a big giant ass 10,000-year-old Viking with an axe trying to kill me because he thinks I'm a sorcerer. We all know how that will go at the police department. And that's exactly the way it went when he went down to the Galactic Patrol and told them that hooey of a story. But while all of that was going on, Tarko figured out, I need tougher weapons. And so at the police department, he busts into that, or police department, Galactic Patrol, he busts into their armory and gets their weapons. So when he coming back and he literally coming back, like I said in the video, dumping. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, Tarko learned quick, don't he? He like, I need more than an axe and a shield if I'm a wreck things, like I like to wreck things. And speaking of wrecking things, he wrecked Space Ghost power bands. Now, that's all you got to do to, well, it's a voltaic axe. So what do voltaic axes do? I don't know. But basically, Space Ghost got to go at it with this big Viking hand to hand. And he actually acquits himself pretty well. He gets knocked through another wall, but he figures out ain't no sense raging against this Viking when we could just freeze his ass up again. And that is precisely what they do. They freeze him up, and Jace is the one that comes up with the idea of letting him frolic on a planet a la Planet Hulk, you know what I'm saying? John Carter, Warlord of Mars, that type of thing, you know what I'm saying? And then here you see in the final picture, he's hunting Gamera. That's what it looks like. It looks like Gamera to me. The deeper message in this comic was family is important. And Dr. Contra and Space Ghost are talking at the end of the book, and he's saying to him, okay, are you these kids' father? And Space Ghost is like, nah, but sometimes I feel like, you know, I am, even though I'm not really. And Dr. Contra's like, yeah, they're very brave and courageous and resourceful. They remind me of my grandchildren. Again, I can't get past the fact that all they got on is little masks. You know what I'm saying? And don't your grandchildren have a monkey that hangs out with them? Anyway, I feel like this story was kind of a it was filler. It was a respectful filler, and sometimes you need that because I, for one, I like these little one-hitter quitters, 1 or 2, 1 to 2-part story, maybe even a 3-part, but I don't have to go buy 17 books. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go and buy 17 different books to keep up with one story. I like that. I like having to not do that. Wet my whistle here. Thoughts? Comments, discussion, anything you thinking about in particular on Space Ghost number 3 and Tarko the Terrible? No? Oh, here we go. Kamoyo with a little knowledge being kicked. Bandits wore bandanas, domino masks were for the nobility during masquerade balls and intrigues. Thank you for that piece of information. If I ever decide to be a vigilante, I will definitely have a full mask or a helmet or something that covers up my facial features, because nowadays that's what people easily identify you by. Okay, nobody asked nothing else, so we moving on. Space Ghost number 4. Oh, this one is even better because it's involving war, galactic war. And I got the variant cover. That's a nice variant cover. I think Francesco Mattina did this one. Yes, he did. He did this cover. And Francesco Mattina did this cover. I like the detail in Space Ghost's uniform. If you look real close and you can see the printed circuits in his belt, if you look real close, and then on his power bands, right on the buttons on his power bands, if you look real close at those, you can see there as well. I don't know if the printed circuits or alien language or whatever. It look cool. Anyways, Space Ghost has in issue 4, he has inserted himself into a millennial long war between the kingdom of the space sharks on the planet Liquo. Why you just call it Liquid? Anyways, in the crystalline empire of Emperor Glasstor. Glasstor, I remember. Remora, I remember. 2 minor villains from the 66 Space Ghost. Come to think of it, Tarko is a villain from the 66 Space Ghost as well. I own the first season of Space Ghost and Dino Boy. I am going to go and watch it tonight. I know it has the Council of Doom in it. A lot of good memories there. Anywho, these 2 races, the space sharks and the crystalline people, have been brought together for a treaty. Space Ghost suspect that somebody in this group is sucker ducking. So it's like I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled and see on Inviso power who's sucker ducking out here, so I could swoop on them and hit them with some kind of fun beam. And sure enough, him, Jan, and Jace are on the we trying to keep the peace tip, but a sniper out of nowhere fires a shot where Remora and Glassdoor are at, but Space Ghost zips down there in time to block the shot. Now, rather than these 2 jokers, Remora look like King Shark, don't he? A shark is a shark. Yeah, he kind of looked like King Shark. But are they grateful for Space Ghost saving them? No. They automatically start getting at each other. And Space Ghost gets in the middle of it, and he gets literally, he shot the shark in the mouth. It was cool. But right after, he gets body slammed. You see what I'm saying? And then he's laying there, slumped. That's why I say, man, Space Ghost, his special ability must be taking damage too, because, boy, they be giving it to him, boy. He be, ugh. Anyways, because Jace ran up to where the sniper was, the sniper left the smoking gun there, and Jace got caught, and they think Jace was the sniper. Well, Jace did steal the Phantom Cruiser once, but that don't make no sense. It doesn't, but I don't think they care. I think somebody either in the Crystalline Empire or the Space Shark Kingdom is looking to precipitate a war, and that's why they did what they did with the sniper thing, because they knew no matter who it was, somebody was going to be irrational and retaliate the way Remora and Glassdoor did. Meanwhile, blast their ass out of space. The Shark Kingdom attacks the crystalline ship with hammerhead harriers. Alliteration. I like that. Hammerhead harriers attack the crystalline ship. And Space Ghost decides he's going to defend the crystalline ship from the shark attack. While he is defending the crystalline ship from the shark attack, the crystalline empire decides to launch an attack on the shark planet. They at war, y'all. And they launched something that was going to blow the whole planet up. You know what I mean? They wasn't effing around. So Space Ghost has to disengage from defending Glassdoor's ship from the Hammerheads to go stop this bomb. And he's doing all of this extra stuff and pressing power bands. And he manages to cloak it or shield it or somehow, deflect it. But it left him half past dead. You know what I mean? So I guess the story with this book is how much damage can Space Ghost take? Because we saw him in issue 3 and Tarko was smacking him around and knocking him through walls. We see him in issue 4. Glassdoor and Remora are taking shots, biting and pounding on him collectively. Is he trying to be a nicer, gentler, kinder Space Ghost for Jan and Jace? I don't know. But I know a lot of his foes tend to get the better of him. And I'm like, is that how we want Space Ghost looking? Can we get Space Ghost shining? Can we get Space Ghost handling business? That was 2 books in one review. Okay. What book y'all want me to do next? What book are y'all itching for out of the 2? It's actually 3 because it's 2 Speed Racers. But I'm gonna give you the Speed Racer. You know what? Let's just go with Speed Racer since I started talking about Speed Racer. Speed Racer number 3. That cover. I dig that cover. That cover is cold, y'all. Not Speed Racer. Goodness. Racer X got his hands in his pocket and he chilling up against the shooting star. I know in the video, I think I called it the Shining Star. But yeah, his vehicle is called the Shooting Star. And as we found out in Racer X number 2, why it's called the Shooting Star, because when he was thinking about what he wanted to call the vehicle, him and Speed were sitting outside and a star shot by. Interesting. But anyway, it's Speed Racer, but we talking about Racer X. When you first open the book up, Speed Racer is holding his brother Rex's old racing helmet from when he used to race Formula X as himself. And he remembers how he would win races and put Speed up on his shoulders. Good time. Yay, big brother doing it. Then he crashed his car and everybody thought he was dead and he really wasn't dead. But right now, Speed is looking for some kind of guidance as he works on the Mach 5 and sits around thinking, Pops is in the hospital. You know what I need to do? Yeah. Hop in the Mach 5 and go handle business. I like that look for Speed, with the hoodie and the very, very modern looking look. But we find out when he takes off from the house, he's being watched by Ace Ducey. Ace Ducey look like he take care of himself. He's a sharp-dressed man. Notice how the shirt matches the socks and the tie matches the shoes and the trench coat and the fedora line. He is a very dapper fella. You know what I mean? Ace Ducey got some little style about him. And Speed Racer ends up in this very shady bar where the car acrobatic team hangs out. And little does he know, Spritle, as he always is in the trunk, tagging along. I don't know how Speed jump in his car and never see nobody climbing his trunk. His rear view mirrors must not work. But he lets Spritle know, we ain't doing this for subs because Spritle is a content provider in this version of Speed Racer. And so he gets content off of his brother doing street races. But now Speed wants to race, and he's going in here to deal with the car acrobatic team. And he runs right up on them. No fear, no shame. And in response, they like, bruh, we will cut you. And he's not, in this comic, Speed Racer showed me he is not a punk by any stretch of the imagination. Speed Racer is ready to hurt people, especially when it comes to his car. I think he was outgunned in this situation, but lucky for him, as we can see in the background, Racer X is in that bar chilling with his mask on, drinking drinks. All right, cool. Okay. But Speed Racer basically ends up starting a bar fight because this dude finds Spritle and them snooping around in the club. Nah, fam, you can't mess with my fam. And he proceeds to beat dude down. You know what I'm saying? He got hit in the face a couple times, but he's a scrappy little fella. You know what I'm saying? He out here putting hands on everybody. And Racer X is like, ain't you Speed Racer? Why are you in here, brawling? You know what I mean? And since I'm looking at you face to face, let me tell you, Formula X is for real racers, not you street types. Now, you can't tell Speed Racer no shit like that and not have him get up in your face and show up. He like, what? You trash, Racer X. Let's go race. If you think I'm a sucker. And he told him, all right, Playboy, you want to race with me? Let's race. And sure enough, they did race. Now, what I didn't show you in the video is Speed Racer got gimmicks in his car, right? Right. Racer X has a grappling hook. Okay? And you can use a grappling hook to swing you around corners like he just did. Speed Racer came back with the buzz saws, but Racer X, again, too maneuverable. It ain't always about brute force. And he ends up beating Speed Racer in this race. Now, this is the part that shocked me. Speed Racer was so easy to give up. He's just like, the car's all yours, bro. Maybe you drive through a brick wall. You know what I'm saying? And he's saying, oh, I'm doing this for your own good. Meanwhile, AC Doocy done jumped in that junk and stole it. Now, Speed Racer and Racer X hop into the Shooting Star and pursue. Now, again, what you didn't see in the comment. This one, I'm like, Speed is doing the most. Hops out of Racer X's car. Well, not hops out. Does a flip out the window onto the roof and then jumps in his car. Right next to AC Doocy. And y'all already seen Speed wasn't having it. How you gonna steal my car? Now, well, I ain't show you. AC Deucey put up a little bit of a fight. You know what I'm saying? AC Deucey kind of gave a little bit of a problem there. But Spritle came out in time, him and Chim Chim, with the save. And that whole time, they fighting and ain't nobody driving the car. They fighting and ain't nobody driving the Mach 5. I don't see nobody hand on no wheel. Just like a Speed Racer cartoon. Put him out on the street. Other part we didn't dive into, if you look at the road, it's out. So the freeway isn't finished. And we got us a nice little Speed Racer using the jacks to make that jump. And that's, pretty much all the excitement. And it's like I told y'all, Racer X gave him the money, you know what I mean, to pay for bills and all that kind of stuff. So Racer X really is watching out for Speed. He ain't just, effing with him. You know what I mean? What the comments? LJ Panther. Hello, sir. How you doing? I like the modern look on Speed as well. I think they should update the G-Force team as well when they're wearing civvies. I agree. I'm tired of them pinstripe pants and them t-shirts with the numbers on them. That's the only outfit y'all got. He say Speed a ninja. Come on, dog. Yes, Speed. Hey. Or he just a crazy ass kid. I remember I jumped up on the roof of a car. I ain't do no stuff like that. But I remember I got out of a car and jumped on the roof of a car. Anywho. Bonus, a Speed Racer comic. Speed Racer, Tales from the Road. Now, this Speed Racer book focuses largely, believe it or not, on Racer X and Spritle. Racer X is in a country called Baltia. And he is working for Interpol. How many people remember the old school Racer X comic book where he was walking around with machine guns and whatnot? Yeah, working for, yes, this is that Racer X updated. Well, it's the same Racer X, but that same vibe, that same Racer X. You know what I'm saying? We got him, he's getting a call. Two Princes is the name of the story with Racer X, and it's by writer Mark London. I have a very dear friend named Mark London. I have to tell him about this afterwards. Artist Sebastian Perez, letterer, my guy, Buddy Bedoin. I love saying that name. And then Chaz Pangborn is the editor. Chaz, I need a job at Mad Cave. I got some great ideas for some stories on some of our favorite childhood Gen X characters. Anywho, there is this guy called, ironically enough, the Viking. Not like that Viking in Space Ghost, but he's an agent called the Viking. And the Viking just does what he want to do, however he want to do it. And the Viking sends men to deal with Racer X. Bruh. Racer X hit these jokers in the head with wrenches. Racer X is a whole dog out here. I guess when you working for Interpol, you got to be busting cats across their head with wrenches, bro. Racer X busting cats across their head with wrenches. They dead. They gotta be. And Racer X is a big boy. You know what I mean? And you just cracking mothers across the head with wrenches. And they got a great big splash page of the shooting star. Only difference is this shooting star ain't a convertible. Which to me makes sense if you're gonna be racing. You don't be racing around in no convertible. But he's chasing the Viking, and the Viking is one of these dudes. And he drives by and he's got his henchmen backing him up. Long story short, in this book, Racer X eventually comes face to face with the Viking on his terms. And the Viking is trying to get away from Racer X, but Racer X mashes on him, shoots an engine out of a plane, and my guy wrecks into the shooting star. That's how proof Racer X's car is against crashes. See what I'm saying? And now, Racer X cars still work. For future reference, keep in mind, Racer X car can take a head on and keep rolling. But he got the Viking. That's how he got the Viking running headlong into his ass. The second story is about Spritle stealing the Mach 5 and crashing it. There. That's the backup story. I mean, I'm not really finna get into it, but I think Tales from the Road is a good diversion. At least if you want to see the part of Racer X where he's more involved as an Interpol special agent, or you can go back to the old school Racer X comics. Here, let me. Oh, excuse me. 2000 was the first Racer X series. Back in 2000, Wildstorm Comics did that Racer X comic. Let me pull up an image for you so you can see this OG Racer X. That's what I'm gonna call it, matter of fact. OG Racer X comic. And OG Racer X gets down like this. I still got this lizard man thing up. Anyhow, a boom, a boom. Oh, with some downloads, sometimes it does that. Let me see something real quick. Ha! You're a slick one, Mr. Grinch. See, they act like I ain't save it. See, there. All right, here we go. OG Speed Racer from Wildstorm coming at you. Boom. What y'all know about that? Y'all remember that Racer X? Tommy Yoon and Joe Chin. See, Asian cats. It was fire. Because they like to drive cars real fast. Come on, hear what you say. You jumped across a roof to another once. Real talk. Real talk. Okay. Now, as promised, this gives me a lot of time to discuss with you some of the things that are seminal to comic book collection. And to that end, I've dredged up some of my OG stuff to share with you cats. You're welcome. You don't have to thank me. Let's start right here because this is where it starts. Black Panther Jungle Action number 6. This is the beginning of Panther's Rage. Why is Panther's Rage so important? Number one, it was the first solo Black Panther story in an ongoing format. Now, Black Panther had a solo story in Avengers, a couple of solo stories in Avengers, or like Avengers stories where he was the focus, but never exclusively T'Challa for 2-3 issues. We had if I'm going to be perfectly technical, Avengers number 73 and 74 from the 1963 Avengers series, Volume 1, Sons of the Serpent wanted to kill Monica Lynn. Yes, Monica Lynn. That Monica Lynn. Monica Lynn was a singer on a talk show, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. She was one of the, you know how like when you're an up and coming singer and you get your big chance to shine. This talk show was her big chance to shine, but she was also an outspoken sister. That's what T'Challa liked about her. And T'Challa protected her, took her back to her apartment, but she, at the time, she wasn't feeling it. But later on, they got to talking and M'Baku popped up again and there was some issues there. And there were stories in Avengers where T'Challa was the focus, but T'Challa wasn't the focus. Does that make sense? M'Baku joined up with the Lethal Legion to get back at T'Challa. But the focus of the story was not getting back at T'Challa, even though sometimes you got scratch, you just got scratch. It wasn't like he was the focus, it was more like getting the revenge was the focus, and you just happened to be the recipient of the revenge. Anyway, then we had Avengers number 87, classic, where T'Challa's origin story was told. Challenge Day was a little bit different. It wasn't like it was take all comers. I think it was like 12 of the village's best Wakanda's best warriors, something like that. 9, 12. I know it was a number that one person fighting him by himself would be hard pressed to do, and he did it. Then he had to go and get the heart-shaped herb himself up in the mountains, and he managed to do that, and he took the heart-shaped herb, and AIM was in Wakanda. So Wakanda can't be invaded, but it can be snuck into like a mug. So we've been sneaking into Wakanda since Avengers number 87? Food for thought. You know, that security got to be tighter. I mean, and it aim. I mean, I get it. They're advanced idea mechanics, but still. And then they had inside help from T'Challa's used to be best friend Batumba, and Batumba was like the head aim guy. I think I got some aim figures. I think I might reenact. Avengers number 87 with T'Challa, telling the story of his origin. Yeah. That might be cool to do. I think I'm going to do that, y'all. I think I'm going to do that. Avengers number 87 coming down the pipe. But anyway, T'Challa had a couple more adventures with the Avengers before kind of breaking off and wanting to focus and tend to Wakanda. Theo, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. But writers' whim. If Wakanda gonna be infiltrated, if the writers say Wakanda gonna be infiltrated, guess what? And that's how they do it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Every now and then a mug get into the Batcave. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. All right, you got in, but you know what I'm saying? What'd you get? Your ass handed to you? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's one thing to get in there. What you gonna do once you in there? Because last time I checked, ain't nobody came and did no cool. Well, I take that back. Todd Nehesi Coates. I mean, and you got somebody that's literally influencing them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. T'Challa returned to Wakanda, only to run afoul with this cat with an afro jerry curl and a leopard, and is trying to kill him. And Killmonger done put together a bunch of minions and a whole bunch of army, this and that, and ships and dinosaurs and whatnot, all to overthrow Wakanda. Now, when this series starts out, Rich Buckler is doing the art. Now, I think I have my, hang on a second, y'all. I might have, I do. All this T'Challa is waiting for you. T'Challa is a bunch of T'Challa books. What did Nazi say? If someone manages to get into Wakanda, they won't get back out unless T'Challa tells them to get out. Yeah, pretty much. There's my declassified. Here we go. I don't need nothing else. This is the one. Say no more. Black Panther, the Epic Collection. It encapsulates Fantastic Four 52 and 53 and Jungle Action 6 through 24. So, okay, we can get that in-depth dive in. Okay. Killmonger, henchmen were funny to me. They knew they were just fodder for T'Challa. They kept trying, though. Yeah, well, Salamander Cruel gave him a hard time. Where we at here? All right. He had quite a few. Malice, Venom, all kinds of peeps. Called themselves the Death Regiment. It's a cool name. Okay. This is what I wanted to point out to you. All right. This is Panther's Rage art on this page. Well, not that. This page. That art over there, that's Rich Buckler. Okay? Rich Buckler's nice. Rich Buckler is kind of I don't know, he kind of his action sequences are kind of Kirby-esque. You know what I mean? As far as the movements right here. A lot of action going on frame by frame. He took him and threw him up against a tree. Ow. I know that hurt right there. He threw that cat smooth against a tree. Oh, T'Challa was ruthless. You know, you know what I'm saying? Goodness. And he did all of that just to save an old man. And that old man, before he died, told him about the folks that was coming to mess with his stuff. Oh, and Monica was there. See, Rich Buckler, no shade. Billy Graham drew a much better Monica Lynn. And we're going to see that in a little bit. But again, looking at Rich Buckler's art, it's very, if I want to say comic-ish. Not that that's a bad thing, but when I start showing you Billy Graham stuff, you're gonna be like, oh my damn. Next issue was the introduction of Venom, aka Horatio Walters, aka I ain't even gonna say it because I don't want to say it. SO, let's do that. Significant other. Rare moment of T'Challa in a fly ass outfit that wasn't his Panther habit. What y'all think about that right there? Like T'Challa in that outfit. I like that. I like that throne too, with the Panther hanging over the top like he creeping down. That's a fly. See, why we ain't getting none of this? Fareed Karimi. Nice. Very, very nice. Yes, Gray, 100% right. Tayete and Kasibe, who are constantly hounded by the Panther Devil. That's all they called him. And he told them to stop calling him that. But they kept on calling him Panther Devil. He got tired of it. Okay. Another henchman, Baron Macabre. He had a lot that he had to deal with. Let me get to it. Oh, and then this cat here. Samba. Yeah, a whole mess. This, I think what they did, that not only was this good story, it was epic. It was epic. A lot of the art was epic. Like, I ain't even got nothing bad to say about that right there. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff right there. That was popular to show motion in the 70s. Somebody moving quickly, flipping, acrobatic. A lot of that in Spider-Man. Ross Andrews' run, he would do that a lot with Spider-Man flipping and bounding and being acrobatic on stuff like that. I always enjoyed that. I don't. Do they do that anymore, or has art evolved to a point? You know what I'm saying? Again, epic art. Just you know what I'm saying? Damn Leonidas and the Wolves, T'Challa and the Wolves. You see what I'm saying? So again, Rich Buckler. Now, when my man took over. Oh, hold up. Real quick, I just wanted to show this to you. T'Challa had to fight Tyrannosauruses, dinosaurs, and whatnot. You see what I'm saying? So, peak human strength. Peak human strength. Okay. 2100. Peak human. Yeah. Okay. Anyways. Then there's that guy right there. Salamander Cruel. All them little spores on him. All them little spores on him. Spikes come out of those. That's a fancy bow he's got there. Okay. And yes, I see you out here. Yeah, T'Challa was lamping. I like that outfit he had on though, with the little stringy things and stuff like that. Anansi, I agree. I agree 100%. We need a jungle action wave from Marvel Legends. In the meantime, me, Theo, and Mr. Smith gonna try to hold it down with what we got right now. So later on this week, you will see some of that. Anyway. Here we go. This is Billy Graham art. See the difference? And let's just go ahead and get to where we need to get to. Monica Lynn, y'all. Now, let's hear it from Monica Lynn, y'all. That ain't the one. That ain't the one. Y'all know which one. Y'all know which one. T'Challa flew back home on a pteranodon in issue 15. Oh, right here. That's the one. Him and her swimming with big turtles. That art, bro. That looked like a sister. That looked like a sister's body. You know what I mean? That looked like a black body. Matter of fact, this silhouette, bro, this still haunts me to this very day. Bruh. Dude. Billy Graham. Billy Graham. Ladies and gentlemen. Billy Graham. He know how to draw a black body. You dig what I'm saying? So a lot of things were happening in Jungle Action. You have literally every issue, a different henchman. hitting him. You had Salamander Crew, Baron Samedi, Venom, Somber, Salamander Crew. And they were just coming, back to back to back. In some cases with barely little to no rest. T'Challa got crucified in this issue, in a thorn tree forest, got crucified. You know what I'm saying? Got left out in the cold, in the chilling mists, and had to fight wolves and whatnot. You know what I mean? Dude. And this was before the era of the kinetic suit. If he didn't have that suit, Mario said, I would have kept that Pteranodon. I'd rather have a T-Rex. Lord have mercy, she got more cakes than Duncan Hines. She did. That is how you draw a black woman. It is. Monica had, yeah. You see why? No shade on Aurora at all. I mean, he can be with Aurora. I still be cool with it. But if somebody saw it in their heart to bring Monica back, I'm there for it. You know what I'm saying? No, let me go get my cornbread for those yams. Wait, whoop. T'Challa was running. He was literally running the gauntlet in Jungle Action, you know, and not counting the henchmen. That when you factor in a pack of wolves, an alligator, a rhino, a pteranodon, not to mention the henchmen and the cold white gorillas. He was going through it. And I mean, like, I think through that whole series, he might have got like a couple days of rest and recuperation to retaliate, you know, to get up and get back at it. This is the kind of action we need to see in a Black Panther movie. 100% agree. Will not argue with you on none of that. I would love to see dinosaurs running all over the place, trying to tear shit up in Wakanda. Look at what he did, like with Monica. Monica's like, I want to help. Get your ass out the way, girl. You can't do nothing. And just, you know what I'm saying? Not because he's a mean cat, but there ain't nothing he can do. What Monica gonna do with the dinosaurs, B? Monica can't do nothing with the dinosaur. Oh, and this is the issue that introduced us to little Cantu. We remember Cantu? Yeah, Cantu grew up to be a crack addict. You went from celebrated hero and favored friend of the king to crack addict. So just like in real life, people who can be on top 1 second can be on the bottom another second. Now, here's the thing. And the art, the symmetry of the art, that is doper than dope. Period. You know what I'm saying? Let me take that comment down. So, boom. So y'all can see the whole thing. Eric Killmonger with his Jerry afro, you know, and T'Challa, you know, rippling with muscles and whatnot. It almost kind of reminds me of the scene at the end of Enter the Dragon where Bruce Lee is on one side of the compound and he's fighting one way, and Han is on another side of the compound and he's fighting another way, and bam, and they run into each other and they just kind of stand there. You know what I'm saying? And this was the 70s. You know what I'm saying? 73. So Billy Graham could very well have taken inspiration from Enter the Dragon. I'm just saying. But this is also the issue where T'Challa gets his ass beat like a Hebrew slave. I know there have been issues where T'Challa has gotten the better of Killmonger. This was not one of them. Now, inspiration for Killmonger. Is this your king? Is this your king? Plucked right out of Jungle Action, ladies and gentlemen. Just in case you were wondering. And there's Cantu on the other page, saving T'Challa. Now, Jungle Action also introduced us to Madame Slay, who was apparently a lover of Killmonger's. And when she found out that Killmonger was dead and T'Challa had killed him, she sicked leopards on T'Challa and had him drag T'Challa. This is post. Well, it's still part of Panther's Rage, but it's post Panther's Rage. I'd bring her back as the songstress, being able to hypnotize people with her voice since she was buried with the heart-shaped herb or some other enhanced ability. I like that. The Malice issue was fire. Yes, it was. And we also got to see T'Challa's ability in being very precise with his strikes when he throws that spear through the wall and hits Malice. Didn't T'Challa reset everything after Secret Wars? I don't know what he reset it to. What did he reset it to? I mean, back how it was before it got messed up, or back with changes and alterations and things like that. And if T'Challa did change, would he tell anybody he changed it? So some things could be in the works. Some things could be in the works. Now, a very common motif in Jungle Action comics, T'Challa running around with a tore up ass habit. This was very common in the Jungle Action comics. Maybe he don't need no kinetics to be a whole dog. You know what I mean? And Jungle Action was seminal and important in as much as you got to see that. The Black Panther versus the Klan. Hang on. We like seeing these images. The Secret Empire, I think is what they were called, and the Klan were working together, and T'Challa was I like that. That's a cool image. Like bringing back Monica. I wish. Wait, can he talk to her spirit being king of the dead? Hey, if a way can be made, a way will be made. One of my favorite adventures, T'Challa goes to the grocery store. Yes, that happened in Jungle Action. And she told the Black Panther not to squeeze the shaman. Jungle Action was very important. Why does he look so cat-like in that image? He looks like he's about to like lick his paws and you know what I mean, and clean himself. That's how he looks in that image. So y'all tell me. So yeah. Another nice shot of Miss Lynn. There's my petition for why we should still have a Monica Lynn. Right there. That. Can we get that back? I want that old thing back. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Okay. A lot of stuff went on. Even T'Challa has been a victim of police brutality. And they tried to beat him. See what I'm saying? Lot of things going on in this issue, y'all. Lot of things going on in this issue. I ain't even got to say nothing. You feel me? Billy Graham saying things without saying things. Billy Graham saying things without saying things. I love Billy Graham art. I love Billy Graham's art. Burning. Burning. And my favorite Black Panther villain, y'all can say what y'all want to say. Yep, the Soul Strangler. He only made one other appearance in Marvel Premiere, and we have not seen him since. And he's a great villain, great supernatural foil for the Black Panther to struggle against. He's how many villains did I name off just in this series? Don't see none of them. Don't see none of them. That's part I don't get, y'all. He got villains that y'all could be using, but you don't use them. Why? I do not understand why. And then there's Wendigo. That's how Wendigo's outfit looked when he was originally presented in Jungle Action. But in Marvel Premiere, it had kind of a blue and gold motif to it. The technology he uses to fly, does it look familiar? Yeah, that's because it's stolen Wakandan technology. The same kind of technology that he gave to the Falcon. And this Jungle Action 5 was a reprint of Avengers number 62, which was the debut of Man-Ape. Okay. Why is Jungle Action important? Jungle Action contains the foundation of stories and characters that would make T'Challa A-list, that would put him in a monthly mag with plenty of characters to make him struggle against. Why we don't do it? Because don't nobody know how to write it? That ain't true. Shirley Eaton could write it. Eve Ewing could write it. Reginald Hudlin could write it. Hell, Jonathan Hickman could write it. Jason Aaron, Al Ewing. It's a list of great Black Panther artists. Get some of them together. Collaborate. I'd love to see an Al Hickman, Jason Aaron, Jonathan Hickman collaboration on Black Panther. That'd be a fantastic story. That'd be an epic, memorable story. Jungle Action did a lot for the character. Jungle Action did a lot for the culture. Even though the culture was like 95% unaware of what was going on from like, I think it was 73 to 75, 76 that Jungle Action ran. And nobody said nothing. It's two African-American characters starring in monthly magazines, Luke Cage being the other at Marvel. And I mean, if you want to be technical about it, Falcon was co-starring in Captain America because in the 70s, Captain America became Captain America and the Falcon. There was a lot. Well, I ain't going to say a lot, but there was representation. It was minuscule. It was mediocre, few and far between, but it was there. We needed to build on it is what we needed to do. We didn't get a chance to build on it. You know what I'm saying? Drop the ball there on that one. But ain't never too late, y'all. It ain't never too late. Look here. It is Wednesday and oh yeah, I gave you an hour and a half. So that was more than I had planned to do. But so a win. Look here, y'all. I will be at the L store seeing what's new so I could give y'all something and get my reviews on time instead of throwing them all at y'all in one day. But I mean, whatever works, you know what I'm saying? And I will I will start sort of a review series on Jungle Action, similar to how Theo gave you the Man Without Fear run. Hopefully, we will all get something out of it. Pull up to the live tomorrow. I got another one coming Thursday live. And then, of course, Friday. We doing Friday live. We vibing. Y'all make sure y'all set y'all notifications so when this stuff comes out, y'all can pull up. All right? Don't let them put baby in the corner. Look here, y'all. That's it for now. And fret not, I will be coming at you with another one of the mothers. And until I do, y'all be good to each other. I am Sideways.